What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we gotta talk Injustice 3. So this was something that I've been pretty hesitant to say that it was going to be at DC Fandom, okay? I do believe, I think as time has gone on, I've believed more and more the early rumors, really about like 3-4 months ago, when they said that Injustice 3 is still several years away. That's probably a 2022 game, not a 2021 game. And when that first came out, when that first happened, I remember saying, well, you know, they've been doing 2 years, literally, I think for like 12 years, for like 6 or 5 games, somewhere in that range, at least 5 games, they've literally managed, NetherRealm has managed, to literally make a game every other year, okay? Mortal Kombat 11 obviously came out at this point a year and a half ago. Now we're approaching 2 years this upcoming April. It's been 4 years around that same time that Injustice 2 had come out, so everything makes sense. It's just something that, you know, maybe because of how much they've supported Mortal Kombat, which, by the way, they're still supporting it. There's still heavily rumors that there's going to be DLC continuing for Mortal Kombat 11. I mean, they are continuing it. They're going to be supporting this game still for at least the near future, okay? So for me, when I think about Injustice 3, I never really gave it all that much time of day. Looking at it now, though, with all the different teases that have come out, now we had that Injustice 0 comic, and that comic writer, he is going to DC Fandom. So it's pretty much confirmed that there is going to be a brand, and in fact, like the rumor has it that it is absolutely right, a comic series. So we don't have to really worry about that being a game. But in the background, we have Ed Boon, right? He's going. Now, that is a thing where it's like, okay, well, obviously, if you guys don't know who Ed Boon is, right? He's the head of NetherRealm, creator, Mortal Kombat, all that kind of stuff. Big deal. Pretty darn big deal, right? Now, is he going because he's going to be doing DLC for new Mortal Kombat characters? He very well could. In fact, even if you look at the DC Fandom, that very first teaser trailer, when it was showing all the big announcements, it showed Killer Croc, and I know people were asking, you know, what's up with Killer Croc? Well, that was a skin for Mortal Kombat, right? So that's what that was. Now, why did they show that? Kind of weird that of all the things they could have picked, maybe because so many things in the Warner Bros. Gaming, you know, kind of sphere is all secretive, all in hiding, that they really didn't have much to show. So they had to show basically like a Batman-style Mortal Kombat DLC, right? But a lot of people are expecting that we're going to get a DLC character for Mortal Kombat, whether it be Harley, whether it be Deathstroke, whether it be Deadshot, somebody would appear, right? So, and I do agree with that. I think one of them is pretty darn likely to be a DLC character, but we have that. So we have Ed Boon going, okay? We have the Injustice, you know, comic teased. We also have Boss Logic. Now, if you guys don't know who he is, which I don't blame you, because I mean, he's got a really big following. I didn't know who he was, though, up until a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago. Now, I had watched his stream of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, he's done this before. He's a really, really talented artist. And if you guys remember, I mean, again, the most recent example is, if you remember when Assassin's Creed Valhalla was announced, there was that live stream of the art of it, okay? And that was Boss Logic who did that, okay? That live stream on Photoshop of putting the whole thing together, kind of like the layers upon layers of the game. That was him, okay? And then we got so he was basically contracted, in which he does that kind of often. He was contracted with them, with Ubisoft, right, to do that, okay? Now, he teased yesterday an Injustice 3 image, which had a connection to Watchmen. Now, that would be, I mean, if you threw Watchmen into Injustice, that would be pretty darn cool, right? Which is, I think, the main, well, there's two main takeaways. One, it's, I mean, Watchmen, and two, it's, well, is this like an official thing? Because he's not an official like employee, right? He's got really, I mean, he's an official person. Like if you go on his Twitter, right, he's got the blue check mark, but he's not like connected, like he's literally not connected with them. Okay, so the fact of the matter is him doing that. Here's I guess simplifying it, is him doing this picture doesn't guarantee that it's happening. It could be a way of like promoting it, where it's like, hey, I got this idea for this game, right? And I'm a really good artist, and here's like a concept that I basically drew of Injustice 3 with the Watchmen thing. So like that could be it, but at the same time, I don't know. I honestly don't know his past to know if he does these things like, you know, regularly. You know what I mean? Does he always kind of tease things or promote things and be like, hey, I want to work with this publisher? You know what I mean? It just seems like, again, a few weeks ago, a few months ago, I think I even made a video, right? In fact, there was even leaks about Injustice 3. I think there was even more teases that I'm not even remembering, but I made a video recently, I talked about it, and it's like I don't want to expect this game at DC Fandom. Like I said, my expectation, I do want to make this clear for people, is I do think it's important. My expectation for DC Fandom is only two things. It's getting the Batman game, getting a trailer, 2 to 3 minutes, and it's getting the Suicide Squad game by Rocksteady, less than a minute teaser trailer, okay? That's it. That's my expectation. If we get an Injustice 3 teaser trailer, awesome. If we get a Monolith game, awesome. I mean, I really do think, and I'm now starting to see articles written about Monolith, which is pretty darn funny that they're now just catching up several days after. Now, I catched up several days after as well, but they went after me. So I do just want to point that out. But now, in all honesty, those are the two things I'm expecting. Okay, so if we get the other two, I mean, that would be absolute insanity. Truly, that would be absolutely insane. Again, I don't want to put my expectations on, okay, Injustice 3 is going to be there, but look, the only thing stopping me from thinking that Injustice 3 wouldn't be there is actually the leak, the rumor, whatever you want to call it, that it's not coming out in 2021. Now, if that is wrong, if it is coming out in 2021, then really the floodgates open. And to me, honestly, that is the biggest thing. That rumor saying that it's not going to be in 2021, that it's going to be in 2022, I think I've just followed that for so long that it's like, well, you're not going, I mean, factually, this is what would happen. You're not going to announce your game, even though it's at DC Fandom, even though it would just be a tease, you're not going to do it if it's in 2022, okay? Now, again, I've talked about how, obviously, this year is different. Warner Bros. Is doing things differently where, look, I mean, even if they announce just Batman and Suicide Squad, Batman isn't coming out probably for another 5-6 months, and Suicide Squad isn't coming out until, like I said, I still think probably like 10 months away, probably around like June at the earliest. It's very possible it could be even pushed into early fall, although I think that's where Harry Potter is going to be. That too, Harry Potter, we know Warner Bros. Was going to announce Harry Potter, which will probably be like a full year away. So yes, they are doing things differently. They are announcing games that are not like 3 to 4 months away. Remember, they announce games and they come out. They're really good with that. I like that strategy. It works really well for them, but they're not doing it this year. So you can say, okay, well, actually, that is a argument for announcing Injustice. Well, again, if it came out in like May of 2022, though, that is so long. Like, it's one thing to announce Harry Potter, which is like 13, 14 months away. It's another thing to announce Injustice 2 when it's like almost 2 years away. You know what I mean? So many things can happen in 2 years, and I think that, yes, this is a year for change, and this is a year for change for Warner Bros. Specifically, but I just don't think they would do something like that. So if the game comes out in 2022, I think that all of this stuff has just been really weird coincidences that don't add up to anything. If the game comes out in 2021 and that leak is wrong, and by the way, if it does, I'm going to find the person who did that leak, and I will never trust them again, okay? But if it does come out in 2021, then I do see, like, it's very possible. Now, again, you could say, well, it's not 3 to 4 months away, right? Normally they announce these games and they come out. Well, that's okay. The game came out in April, came out in May, because it's the same lineup as Rocksteady's Suicide Squad. It's also the same lineup as, like, Harry Potter. So there's really no reason why they couldn't do it. If it came out sometime in the springtime, do a quick teaser, have some sort of your narration. You know what I mean? It would be kind of the same thing as the Suicide Squad game. I truly do believe that would be a short teaser trailer because, honestly, it is such a different game than the rest of them, but still, I think my rule that I've kind of like imposed on them or imposed when I talk about these games in my videos, I think it still comes up where it's the first game. The first game comes first, which is the Batman game. Again, yes, I get it. Injustice is very different and because of the fighting genre and all that stuff, very different from the rest of it, but still, and also think about a lineup. Think about a lineup from January to June. If we were to get the new Batman game, Injustice 3, and then Suicide Squad, imagine that lineup. That could very well happen, but again, you got to kind of follow the rules of which one comes first, that one gets more attention, even if the games are a little bit different, especially because it's Warner Bros., especially because it's all DC, especially because they're close enough in similarity with each other, you do have to do that. So I wouldn't expect anything more than a teaser trailer, but honestly, as the days are going on and on, I really don't see why it won't be there. Again, the only reason it wouldn't be there is if the leak about it being in 2022 is true. If that is true, then we won't see it. If it's not true, I think it's very, very possible, especially with all the stuff that's happened, that we will see it. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Are you expecting Injustice 3 at DC Fandom? When do you think it's going to come out? Do you believe believe that leak that it's not coming out until 2022? All those things, let me know in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And thank you so much for watching, guys. I truly appreciate it. Daily videos at this point on DC Fandom, on Injustice, Superman, Suicide Squad, Batman, anything I can think of coming to you guys, again, every single day until we get up to DC Fandom, and then it's going to be absolutely insane afterwards, okay? Truly do appreciate your guys' support. I really, really do. Thank you so much for watching all of these videos and sticking with me. I hope to see you all on the next one.